Here are 6 of what I consider the most common wrestling moves and how I rank them from safest to most dangerous. Coming in at number 6, the DDT. Invented and popularized by Jake the Snake Roberts, the DDT remains one of the most popular and commonly used moves in all of professional wrestling today. Now, when you're still getting started in this business, I highly encourage you to simply take the DDT as a front bump, placing your hands in front of you so when you hit the mat, it is your hands hitting the mat and not your face. As one gets more experience, you'll start seeing the RVD spot, as I call it, which is basically when you spike yourself upside down on the DDT. This is a maneuver that should only be attempted once you reach an advanced level in the pro wrestling game. The DDT looks timeless. It's always a cool move, and most importantly, how I look at it, the DDT could be shown to a diehard fan or just a casual fan, and as long as it's executed correctly, will always get a pop. Number 5, in terms of ranking these most common moves from safest to riskiest, is the clothesline. The clothesline. I love this move. It could be used as a finishing maneuver if you up the intensity, or it could be used as a standard part of your match. Also, visually appealing to a diehard fan if done right, and also appealing to a casual fan who's maybe flipping through the channels. When giving a clothesline and taking it, you want to think about it as how a shoulder tackle takes place. 2 bodies coming into connection. As long as your opponent gets you with the clothesline under your chin at the upper chest, of course being careful to not hit your face, your chin, or your neck, you should be fine. As the opponent who's taking the clothesline, I always enjoy taking the move when I would take a few steps into it. Meaning, don't just sit there like a deer in the headlights waiting for someone to clothesline you and take your head off. The more you go into the momentum, it does help with the impact. Visually, it looks good, and you can take a nice clean bump to end the day. We are almost halfway done through this list. Stay tuned till the end as I break down what I consider is the most risky and dangerous common wrestling move that you see every single day. Alright, number 4, I'm gonna go with the splash. The splash is a very commonly used move, a million variations of it, whether you're doing it in the middle of the ring or off the top rope like Jimmy Snuka, or a frog splash like Eddie Guerrero, even a 450 splash, any type of splash where you're jumping up and belly to belly making contact with your opponent. Flawless execution matters here. Regardless of the variation of the splash, if your opponent is choosing to execute this on you, they better have mastered it before ever attempting this, especially in front of a live audience. Although the splash is in the middle of this list, there is still an immense amount of risk involved. We've seen it time and time again. If the opponent jumping off the top rope mistimes their step, mistimes the move, their knees can hit you right in the face and the throat. There's a lot of potential disaster over here as well. So it's always encouraged to take the proper precautions and definitely only do this if you are a trained professional. Number 3, it's about time it comes up. I'm going with a suplex. When talking about the suplex, the risk and pain level definitely depends on the intensity of the move itself. Your opponent giving you the suplex should have a full, confident control of your head while you both post on each other's thighs or hold each other's tights. Then it's a big 1, 2, 3 and boom, you go up and you fall back. In theory, your head and neck should always remain safe on a suplex or a superplex. Where potential injury and a higher level of pain could occur is typically at the lower back or sometimes on your heels if your feet don't fall flat on the ground. In my humble opinion, any maneuver where you are taking your opponent and putting them upside down is high risk. You're essentially telling your opponent to put their lives in your hands. Mistakes happen. If you're giving the move and you slip, potentially there's an object in the ring that you trip on. Your opponent may come down headfirst to the ground. That's why any maneuver that requires your opponent to do a full rotation, I consider high risk, despite how commonly executed the move actually is. We are just about to get to number 2, but before we get there, just a quick reminder, these 6 moves are what I'm considering 6 of the most common wrestling moves based on my experience. I've wrestled on the independent scene for well over 10 years, taken these moves and given them. but my experience is different than someone else's, and by no means is the only way to look at these moves. There are other common wrestling moves, but these are the 6 that I chose to break down for you today. Guys, if you're enjoying this content so far, please click like, and if you want to show a little bit more love, hit subscribe. It'll mean the world to me as I'm navigating life after the ring, starting my YouTube channel. Questions, comments, ideas about topics are all encouraged. I'm super pumped and motivated to be launching all this, but I need your help to make it work. Number two is going to surprise a few of you. It surprises a lot of my colleagues in the wrestling business anytime I talk about it, and that move is the body slam. We've seen it countless times, right? WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan picking up Andre the Giant and slamming him to the ground. But have you ever wondered what technique lies beyond? Much like the suplex, anytime you are taking your opponent and giving them a full rotation, there's a risk. There is no way to avoid it. The risk is there. When you are executing a body slam, there's various techniques that you need to incorporate to ensure your opponent remains safe and the move looks crisp. When you are lifting your opponent for the body slam, your opponent is responsible for correctly posting onto your body so that you can properly elevate them for the full rotation. Now here's the big one. This is why the body slam is ranked so high on my list. You, the opponent who's giving the suplex, when you're going ahead and giving the full rotation, it's extremely important for you to tuck your opponent's head with your own hand. This signals that you're about to get slammed. It puts your opponent in correct position to come down flat on their back and hands and not behind their head. Adrenaline, nerves, these are real things. So proper practice and technique will ensure that your opponent receiving the body slam gets to go home injury-free. Bret the Hitman Hart, my hero, says it best. What turns a good wrestler to a great wrestler is their ability to make it look real while never injuring your opponent. Remember, this is a dance and it requires both parties to come together to make magic happen. And when that magic is done right, it is a beautiful thing to do and watch. And when it's done wrong, it could be disastrous. So take your time with all these moves. And next, we're going to number 1, what I consider the most dangerous, commonly used move in the industry today. Number 1 on my list, I'm going to go with the German suplex. Yes, there might be more commonly used moves that could potentially be a higher risk, but I'm going to go with German suplex because if you turn the channel on and watch any wrestling show today, there is a ton of German suplexes taking place. Pretty straightforward. If it goes wrong, you're going to be dumped on the back of your head or your neck. This could significantly shorten your career and even worse, sometimes leave you with permanent injuries. For this move, the ability to protect yourself lies primarily in your hands. As the person taking the move, you need to tuck your chin into your chest like your life depended on it. While going up for the move, tuck your stomach in and arch your back to make it really big and tuck that chin down to your chest. As you go over, make sure to slack your hands to the mat and take primarily most of the impact with your upper back and shoulder blades. If done correctly, 2 things might happen. You might stop there and then, all good, or the momentum might carry you forward, so go with it. If your chin remains tucked, likely what will happen after your shoulder blades hits is that momentum will basically make you do a back roll and you might even land on your knees. So that was it, guys. This was my list ranking top 6 most common moves from safest to riskiest. At least this is my list. If you have another list you want me to break down, please write it in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to make a video about that. But I hope this helps. I hope this sheds some light on all the sacrifices pro wrestlers make for your entertainment. So the next time you go to your local show or a big mainstream show and you see a common move like a clothesline or a DDT or a body slam, remember, there is always risk involved, and these wrestlers should always be respected for putting their lives on the line for your entertainment. Guys, I'll catch you next time. This was the second act. Let's go.